Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. This is Movie Grade. I'm your host, J.R.Alva. I'm joined here today by the one and only Dr. Doom.
Victor.
Victor, as well as
Jay Anderson.
Let's Game Gaming.
thank you guys for being here. All right, guys. So this week we had the opportunity to catch the new Fantastic Four First Steps. Personally, I've been waiting for this for a while, and I've been waiting for this type of Fantastic Four movie, to be completely honest. Even though some of them have been a bit of a letdown, and some of them were a bit subpar, well, let's just say. I personally think that you're in for a treat. My first impression is you guys are gonna have fun. Honestly, what did you think, Dr. Doom?
I think it was above my expectations, but falling to my other expectations of it.
That is extremely vague. Honestly, my first impression of the movie was it was just a great movie. I was kind of going in not expecting much. I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be mediocre, and I was surprisingly pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. It was a very good movie in my opinion. I came out enjoying it.
Awesome. How about yourself, Ben?
I have almost the same opinion as Jay over here. I had like no expectations at all,
All right.
and it surprised me.
All right.
Yeah, which a lot of the Marvel movies don't do that.
Awesome. Very cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. Well, one of the things that I'm definitely going to point out, obviously, this is an MCU movie, and what is it? And what was very surprising to me, this is falling in line to their current trajectory and their storyline and stuff like that. So, just looking at the plot alone, story-wise, I was just really happy. It's not really a spoiler because if you watch the trailer, you can kind of see a big old boot that walks down the city line. So you're going to be in for I don't want to spoil it, but I would want to say a galactic surprise, So fortunately, that was something that I've been waiting for when it comes to an arch nemesis, a villain. That was something that I've been waiting for a long time when it comes to a plot, particularly in the MCU and especially with the Fantastic Four. How did you feel about the plot?
Honestly, from my perspective, with my expectations already, it's with MCU films, stories can be kind of, very basic. And also, they can also be very good when they want to be. This year and already, we had Captain America 4, which was kind of felt like a puzzle piece of a movie where all these pieces were put together, and it was just like, yeah, it's a movie somehow. And also, Thunderbolts was very, very good. Kind of general surprise for a movie about, where they kind of gave away the secret a week after, which was kind of not a really smart idea to me, but, you could get more people to watch. But for this one, I'd say it's good, but it doesn't fully meet my, what I would want it to be. Because there's certain elements here and there that tend to make me go, okay, I know it can't be like the comics, but then again, when the MCU actually read the comics, who knows, So to me, it's serviceable, it's fine, it's watchable. It just, there's some elements that are lacking for me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
How did you feel about the story, the plot?
The story itself was actually the story was actually pretty interesting. For a long time, I've just been craving a movie with a good amount of stakes. The stakes were very high in this movie, and all in all, I think it was normally with the MCU movies, you're either going to get a character-driven story or you're going to get a big, epic villain story, or just like the conflict, that's the main story, or you're going to get a mediocre no story type of deal. And I feel like with this movie is we had a big bad threat, this looming threat, and a character driven story, and I just loved every aspect of it, honestly. So overall the story was pretty solid in my opinion, honestly.
Awesome. How did you feel?
Yeah, I like the whole plot of it. There was some things I could nitpick, but it's Marvel. Not gonna get exactly what you want all the time.
Well, you're allowed to nitpick. What do you do? What kind of even if it's a little thing, what kind of bugged you a little bit?
I don't like that Galactus was the big thing.
That he was the big bad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're entitled to that opinion, man. I mean, some people were looking forward to it. Some people might not be liking that, you know? So that makes sense. Okay.
Because I think it comes along with the idea, like, I don't know if you guys have seen Shang-Chi, all of you seen Shang-Chi,
Mhm.
where I had, like, a problem where he did too much in that film, and okay, just spoil that film.
Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay,
you can.
spoiler for a movie that's been out for 4 years now.
Yeah, who cares about it anyway? It's watchable, at least. Well, essentially, the guy defeats his dad and defeats a giant dragon, and then you're left going, like, what do you do with a sequel for that? And I'm going, like, well, he defeated his dad and dragon, so how is some other villain going to be equal to his dad and a dragon? Yeah, at that.
True. Well, I mean, from what I do understand, though, in the MCU, there are multiple dragons because, I mean, if you do follow Iron Fist properly, there is a dragon involved. So
Oh, yes,
maybe
I saw Iron Fist, and I regretted that.
so did I, unfortunately. R.I.P. to my favorite Marvel Knight.
Wow.
That
Oh, yeah.
show was. Moving forward. What is it? No, but I see what you mean when you raise the stakes on one end. How do you raise them higher? And I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. And speaking of which, you know, I was really happy with the actor that they chose for, you know, the big bad. I know that was something that you were talking about, Vic.
Oh, yes. Galactus was voiced, essentially, or he was portrayed. I don't know how much was with the special effects, or, like, I don't think they imagine, unless they built a tiny set for a man to walk through. You know,
I heard they did.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The King Kong. I mean, King Kong Godzilla, that thing. I guess. That's
Well,
awesome.
Ralph Ineson. He's a really good actor. He's really known for his voice. Where he has this really interesting voice. Where have you seen The Green Knight? It's really a smaller known film, but it's an amazing film. He voices the Green Knight in that, and he's terrifying. His presence is overlooming the whole film, where the protagonist is dreading the confrontation with him.
All right. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and I was really happy with that. I mean, and one of the things too is that I don't know if people were expecting it to be a pro or a con, but Pedro Pascal, I mean, he did fantastic as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know. So how did you feel about the actors?
I mean, the actors and the acting were just top notch. I think what it was kind of great is because lately, okay, man, a lot of the old Fantastic Four, you know, is the early 2000 ones. You know, no offense to them, you know, they did their parts and stuff, but there was a very shallow portrayal of the characters. You know, Johnny is a young, immature, ladies' man, and Reed is smart, and Sue is woman, and Ben is sad. And it was like, okay, like these are like generic. I mean, it worked for the time, but there was like more. There needs to be more meat to it. And I think with this movie, I got more than that. You know, Johnny was more than a ladies' man. He was a guy trying to prove his worth to the team.
Yeah.
And what he did for the movie and what he contributed for the all is lost moment made me love Johnny. I never thought I'd love
actually
Johnny.
thought Johnny was
Yeah.
like my favorite
Yeah.
character in the movie.
Sue
Yeah.
Storm, amazing, strong character, loved her. Pedro was more than just the smart guy. And I love that. He was the science nerd, and he frustrated me as Reed, because Reed has a
He has
tendency
his
to
own
make...
flaws.
Yeah. And as for Ben, he wasn't just a sad guy. He was comfortable in his skin, but always with a subtle hint of sadness. And that's how you portray a good Ben. The depression's there, but he won't show it. Because he's too strong for that. He's got the family thing too. So I think the characters were just absolutely solid for this movie. I feel like they took their notes and they studied. So
Absolutely.
characters, actors, fantastic. And I know he wasn't portrayed by anyone, but a special shout out to my boy Herbie. I never thought I'd fall in love with that guy. I love
the
you,
little
Herbie.
robot. Herbie was pretty awesome.
What about you? Your characters?
What is your favorite character?
I think the highlight was Johnny, of course.
Yeah.
Like I was saying like a bit right now. I think he he had like a whole plan, like almost going towards the end. And I really liked that. It was
I was like,
And I like the actor that they chose too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember his name, but
Joseph Quinn.
Yeah. And he was in Stranger Things,
And also he was in A Quiet Place.
Gladiator 2. He's also in a really good movie, A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah,
Quiet
yeah,
Place,
that was
yeah.
He's really good in that.
Yeah,
He's really good. He's
he's really breaking out.
Yeah, he really expands his roles. Like this year alone, he's played the Human Torch. He's played a soldier in warfare, and he kind of trying to like show he has range, and he does have a good range. He did play a different take on Johnny, where it wasn't the Chris Evans take, which was kind of fun. That's kind of how Johnny mostly is for the most part. Just he's trying to get a date. He's trying to get companionship, or he's trying to look good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I do feel though Reed got pushed to the side a bit.
Really?
Reed, I feel like I'm a Reed Richards fan beyond. I know how I'm dressed and it's cool.
Don't let the monarch of Latveria hear you.
He understands. I do feel Reed pushed aside. Where a lot of like in the early comics to like even now, Reed is always the first one to approach a situation. He's not the one to let his friends go in first. And I understand why they did that in this film, where specifically there's some choices where I'm like, he'd go in and be asking, but how? Why? It's a really weird thing he does in the early comics. He's always asking, but how? Why? It's always his first response to things.
All right. Okay. Well, I personally didn't feel that, but I'm maybe I need to rewatch and maybe kind of see that a bit. I guess maybe because as a whole, the movie just felt fantastic to me. And I'm gonna
pun of the day.
Pun of the day.
I guess I can't believe I'm saying this. To give Victor credit, man, I actually can see where he's coming from, because at the end of the day, Pedro Pascal, I mean, he did play the leadership role correctly and stuff, but the story was driven by Sue. Sue was the POV character of this story particularly, and I think that's why Johnny got his chance. Everyone got the chance to shine.
Yeah, they did.
But over and all, I think like when it came to sharing the spotlight, Reed did get a little bit less compared to everybody else. But that could change for Doomsday.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe it could have also been a director's choice, maybe as for the possibility of giving everybody the spotlight. Maybe that might be the reason for that, because needless to say, we literally just saw a movie with Pedro Pascal in it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm seeing him at least 2, 3, 4 times during the year.
He's had 4 movies come out this year.
You see my point, and the year hasn't even finished. So maybe it was kind of like, hey, man, you got the spotlight on you. You're a big Hollywood star. Let's give somebody else a chance. So maybe I don't know, but that's a footnote on a personal note more than anything else. With that being said, though, moving forward, as obviously all the characters, there's tons of CGI guys, so that's something to talk about. But instead of that, I'm going to go once again and go back to the setting. I really did enjoy that in this particular Earth, it is set back decades and decades. We're talking 70 years we're 1950s vibe, 1960s vibe, something like that. And I really did enjoy that setting. How did you feel about the setting?
I thought it was okay. I just kind of feel like the MCU now, whenever they want to do something interesting, they always have to set outside the MCU or do something drastically different where it's like, oh, this is back in time. Like the failed Blade movie that they try to get made. Oh, this is going to be set back in time. But, it's in this case, it's fine to me. I wish they could just do something right in the actual MCU. For this, yeah, it's got a unique setting. It's a very futuristic world. This reminds me of one of the other scripts they tried making for Fantastic Four, where it was supposed to be set in a world where, like this one, they're the only heroes, and they stand out. That world's a little bit better because of their involvement.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I'm actually gonna take the opposite approach here, and actually, I enjoyed it being placed in another universe because it kind of solved what I felt were like some of the biggest issues in the multiverse saga as a whole. One, the shameless cameos from the actors who played these characters from the past, the fact that we only get like references to like universes but anything like that. I wanted to just flat out say, if this is going to be a multiversal saga, let's do a movie without the cameos, without the variants of the heroes, and just put a movie in another universe. And don't be ashamed to show me this other universe. And I got what I wanted. Honestly, that was my biggest complaint. So for me, it fixed that. And I'm like, wow, I'm glad it took place in another universe. I love this universe. And if this universe gets destroyed, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna probably break my tiny cold heart.
Okay,
You
Grinch.
know?
I was like, okay, Grinch.
And all gamers.
Don't get sent to the hospital. So let's get.
So let's.
How did you feel about the setting and the plot, or or visual effects?
I didn't mind. Like, it was fine in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
You know, one of the things I don't know. One of the key points that I'm going to point out is, you know, part of the thing that I did like, all things considered, looking at today's time and considering we just talked about this in Eddington, going into like cell phones and tablets and media and all this stuff and all AI and everything. One of the things I really did appreciate was with this story, there was some wholesomeness to it, not just with the characters alone, but even the society. The entire society was able to come together and work and be united. And you could see how united those people were back then. And it kind of shows you the division of like what we're dealing with in today's. So that's one of the things that I'm going to point out. I don't know if maybe you guys saw that, but that was something that I was like, like, has technology really taken away that much from us?
No, it's society. It looked very much like how the people in the 1960s wanted their future to look like, where you had these weird buildings. I don't know if you guys noticed the weird buildings with the weird architecture that, or like, what is that? A power plant, a art museum.
The Art Deco style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had very much all these, what people thought a sophisticated future would look like.
Yeah.
Not us without jetpacks.
I think it also reflects the time of like our opinions about like sci-fi in general for the time, because like going back to what you were saying about how like modern days feel more hopeless compared to that period that we just came out of right now. And I think it's just because of our views on like society as a whole. New sci-fi, new fantasy that comes off always has to deal with like post-apocalypse, the end of the world, end is nigh, hopelessness, it sucks. But back then in the 60s, we had a more hopeful vision of the future. When we pictured the future, we thought of utopia. Star Trek was made in the 60s, bro. Not just Marvel, but Star Trek,
Yeah.
So this was like an ideal period. And I think that going off of that style and just expanding in it, just advancing it, kind of showed that if we can maintain that attitude, that's probably what the future would have ended up in, this nice Art Deco style. Mm-hmm. I also love the fact that the technology was very different compared to the MCU. Everything is Star Trek and holograms. We had buttons and levers, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, those weird shaped TVs.
And the robot.
Mm-hmm.
I like those weird shaped TVs where they're like, or I in a weird way with the square screens. And I'm like, where do I find a TV like that? And do they have jetpacks?
They probably do in that timeline.
We were promised jetpacks.
They probably do. Moving forward in our segments and stuff like that, one of the things that I think there's going to be plentiful of is your memorable moments in this film. And to me, there are plenty. And trying not to give anything away and trying to stick to the trailers, I really personally, memorable moment was probably happened several times, is how well the Thing and Johnny just work together. The way that their relationship,
their dynamic.
Yeah, their dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what stole it to me. That's my favorite. Those are my memorable moments. What about yours?
I would say one where memorable moment I'd particularly shown. It's a argument over how to solve a resolution in the movie between Sue and Reed, because it feels like there's a lot of times where Sue and Reed have a serious talk, and it's always there's a moral dilemma at hand. And I think it was an excellent moment where you could really tell that this was not going to end well. no matter what.
That's a great one. I had said it earlier, and I'll probably stick with it. You know, the scene where it's the point of the story where all is lost, but then Johnny puts an end to that moment, and that scene with Johnny just wow! I never thought I'd care about Johnny that much.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is there a memorable moment?
Like where it's towards the end, Johnny and Ben team up, and he finally gets him to say the thing.
Say it.
Yeah.
What time is it? All right. That was a fun, memorable moment. All right, guys. Well, I definitely have my grade locked in. Want to make sure you guys are ready. So, what grade do you give this, Vic?
I want to I don't completely hate the MCU. I don't completely love it. It's a complex relationship. They're giving me a ton of bad things, and I'm like supposed to just take it and expect it and be like, okay, whatever, thank you. And then there's some times when they give me some good stuff, and they've been consistent. Especially after Captain America 4, Thunderbolts was really good, and this was really good as well. There's some things that could have just done better, some changes that were kind of unnecessary, unless to just create subplots for people. But that's a whole other debate. And I'd get crucified for that debate. But I'll give it a B plus. It's good. It's probably the best Fantastic Four movie because they haven't made many. We have the 1994, we got 2005, 2007, 2015. And it takes like 10 years between each Fantastic Four movie. So hopefully this one does well enough so we can get another one not in 10 years.
Wow. Well, okay. Given everything that we're doing, as Victor had pointed out, 94, 2005, 2007, we had failed attempts, but fourth time's the charm. And I gotta say, this movie, I'm giving it an A, and I don't think I can be convinced to give it a lower grade. I'm giving it an A. It's so far, and I can say this with all confidence, the best Marvel movie that came out this year. And I don't know if I love it more than Superman, but it's up there, man. It's up there for me, so it's an A. It's an A.
Awesome. What grade do you give this? That's
Go B minus.
B minus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have a reason for that B minus?
I feel like going back to the whole Galactus thing.
Okay, so that took it out for you. Okay. All right, that's fair. All right. Well, I had mine locked in as soon as we walked out of theaters, and I made sure that I chewed on it a little bit and everything. But I'm gonna stick with an A also. It's a solid A for me. Definitely contended with Superman on my end. And once again, I look at it in the movie as: did you give me action? Did you give me comedy? Did you give me some romance? Did you give me some drama? There were feelings of dread. I mean, you gave me a chance to feel almost every emotion that I normally am looking for. And but more than anything, I was greatly entertained. So that I definitely look at that. So I'm giving this a solid A. I think if we average this out, we got a B minus, a B plus, 2 A's. I think the fairest grade we can either go for is probably an A minus or a B plus. But this is all 4 of us here, so I don't want to be, nitpick.
Say A minus is good.
Yeah.
Average between all of us.
Okay,
I
so
suppose.
all right, so there you guys have it, A minus, and once again, the whole idea behind movie grade is we do give you that whole average as a movie, but if you guys sometimes have the same perspective as myself, as Victor, as Jay, or as Let's, you have the opportunity to see multiple perspectives, so you're not just getting one flat-out grade without any context behind it, which is what movie grade is about. So once again, thank you guys for being here. I'm your host, J.R.Alva. I was joined here today by
Victor Edmonds, head writer at United Audio Comics.
Jay Anderson.
And that's Game Gaming.
All right, thank you very much for being here, guys, and thank you very much for joining us.